Hello and welcome to Krista So Crafty. My name is Krista. I'm really happy that you're joining me today for our craft session. So today I'm going to be making a t-shirt on September 30th. It is Truth and Reconciliation Day. If you want to know more about it, go ahead and just Google it and you can find lots of information on that. But I'm going to make a t-shirt for myself. I'm not making these to sell. So I went to Walmart, and you can go anywhere, but I just went to Walmart and picked up one of those George t-shirts. And it's not a real bright orange, which is fine with me. And I found some images online that I'm going to use and I'm going to cut out on my Cricut for my shirt. Now, I want to warn you or give you some advice, I guess, is like these images that I found, I'm only using them for myself. I am not planning on selling these. So there's no, I'm not making any money off of them. If you're going to use an image, please make sure you watch wherever you're getting them from and read their rules and regulations about how you can use their images, their SVGs, etc. So let's move on over to the laptop. I've got it all set up, ready to go here, and I will show you what I'm going to do. So I wanted to let you all know that the program that I usually use to record videos on my laptop has decided to take a weekend off. Let's put it that way. Something's happened to it and it's not working. So we get to do it old school way where I'm recording with my phone onto my laptop. Sorry about this, but it will work. So I've opened up Cricut Design Space, and I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've been in here. I did notice they have a bit of a new thing that's gone on. I go up to the top right over here and click on New Project. Instead of just opening up the blank canvas, it asks you, what do you want to do? You want to make a vinyl decal, an iron-on shirt, a gift tag, or just create a blank canvas. Same options are right here, okay? So because I'm going to make a shirt, I'm going to click on iron-on t-shirt. And once this opens up, you'll see that it has this other box that opens up and it asks you what type of shirt. So it's just going to walk you through a bunch of these little steps and to make sure that your item that you're making is the best quality that you can make. So I bought a man's shirt, so I'm going to click on men. And then over here, we get to click on the drop down arrow and choose the size. I bought a large because I like to have an oversized shirt. And then here, if you want, you can change the design area size. This is in inches, but if you want, you can change it here. I'm just going to leave it, so I'm going to click on Create. Now, it's showing you here, this little blurb up here, it just says that this is allowing you, the area size is sized to meet the dimensions of the t-shirt that you are making. If you don't want to use it, like I said, you can change it anytime you want by going down to the bottom here and clicking on that little pencil. Now I'm going to go ahead and close these images because I've got my own images that I've found. So I'm going to go to upload. Now I just went onto the internet and I found these images. Like I said, I'm not going to be selling them or anything. I just using them, right? Okay, so here is the one I'm going to use. And I actually, before I even do this, I want to go onto the internet and go to a program I like to use, which is called Remove Background. So remove.bg, and I'm not sponsored or anything by this. And as you can see, I've already uploaded the image, but I'll show you. So you just click on the item and click open. And what this does is it removes all the background, takes away all the color and the noise, so to speak, that's there. And then I'll just click on download, and it's free, so you can just download it. And then I'll go back down to the plus sign on the bottom and I will find my other design, which are the leaves, and I'll click open. And again, it's going to go through and remove all the background, including the white in here. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that because I don't want orange leaves, okay? But I'll show you when we get to the back into Cricut how I'm going to fix that. And I'm going to go ahead and click download for free. So now I can go back into Cricut and into browse. Now when we go in, it's going to say the images we want to bring into Cricut are the ones that say removed preview. So I'm going to click on that and say open, and I'm going to continue. Now you can go in here and use the select button and remove the background, but I prefer doing the other way. It's just so much quicker. And I'm going to apply and continue, and we want to bring in the single layer. I'm going to click continue. Now here's where you can give it a name. I'm just going to leave it 2 feathers tied together and say upload. So it's going to bring that into that area for me. And so now I'm going to go back down to upload. I want to bring in that arrow, and that's this one here, remove background preview, and open and continue, apply and continue, single layer, and then just change this to arrow and upload. So now I've got both of those. Now I wanted to show you the kind of the image that I was wanting to use. And so I had found this and I just thought, you know what, that's kind of nice. So I have these 2 items and now we can go. So I want to put some text on here. So I'm going to click on the text button and I'm going to type every child, whoops, matters. Now what I want to do, oops, just bring that back up onto one line. All right, so I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to take that out of there and I'm going to make another text box. So basically I'm going to make it very similar to what theirs was, just like so. And then I'm going to make this the same size as the arrow. And then this will be here, like this. I think that's going to look good. I'm going to change the background color to a pink, just so you can see. So if I leave it the way it is right now, then whatever color that I'm putting this onto, that's the color of leaf it's going to be in, or sorry, not leaf, a feather. And I don't want an orange feather. So if I change this to the orange, you'll see, like, I don't want an orange feather. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoot these out of the way over here for a minute. And I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to go up here to the top right and click duplicate, or you can do a Control D. And so this one, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to contour and I'm going to hide all contours. And then that way I can take and make that white because I want the feathers to be white. And now when I move this over, all right, I need to move that to the back. So then I can gather these both and I need to align center so that they're right on top of each other. And I'm just going to group them together for the moment. And so now, as you can see, the feathers are now white. And I like that so much better. I think it's gonna pop on the shirt. All right, so now is the time where I can, if I like how it's looking, I might move that just a little bit. I think that's good. What is so the width on this is 4.64. This is 4.65, so I'm going to change that to 4.64, like that, just so that they're all the same width, and then same with this too. 4.64, there we go. All right, so now they're all the same width, and I'm just going to go and align them in the center so that everything is nice and straight, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to unite them. Do you know the difference between weld and unite? Weld is permanent. Once you do it, you can't undo it. But unite, you can unite them so that it combines them. But if you decide that later you want to undo or make a change, you can ununite them. These you don't want to unite. I just have them grouped together so that when I'm moving them around, that they move together. So when they cut, they will cut as a white feather and the black outlines of the feathers, and then I will place them together on the t-shirt. Now I think what I'm going to do is, because this area, remember, is the size we need for our shirts. I just grouped it all together. I just grabbed it so that I selected everything and I went down to the bottom right-hand corner and I'm just going to make it bigger. I just want to make sure that I'm staying within that square here, and I think that's going to look good. I'm happy with this. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click save. I always want to save my designs because, you know, you just never know. So I'm going to call this Every Child Matters, and I'm going to put that it's a t-shirt. And I'm just going to click save. So now it's all saved. I don't have to worry about losing my project. Now remember, this background, the orange, is not going to cut. That is just our area for us to make our design. So I'm going to go over here to make, and when we go in here, you'll see that it's split up the white feather from the rest of everything. So I'm just going to move this a little bit to try to maximize my vinyl. I don't like wasting vinyl. I think that'll be good. By holding the shift button down and then clicking on the little arrow, it moves it in increments, so it just allows a more even turn. I'm going to leave the feathers this way for the white ones, and then in the black section I'm going to have them cut out like this just to save some vinyl. So I'm going to click back on the white one and I'm going to click continue. Now it's just looking for my Cricut. I can choose everyday iron on. This is iron on, so you want to make sure you mirror it. Design space has been updated, so it automatically, as soon as you choose iron on, it automatically flips the mirror switch on. Now that that's all done, we can move to our Cricut and get this cutting out. Now we need our white HTV. I'm going to take our strip off. Remember to put your shiny side down. Nothing worse than cutting it out backwards. And that, and I'm just going to grab my ruler and a blade. Now I always like to go back to my laptop, to my Cricut design space, and I click on the image over on the left and it brings it up, and then I can see that I need to have 6 inches, 6.5 inches, and 10 inches. So I'm just going to leave this width here, but I am going to go down to about 6.5 inches, and I'm going to cut this off. Then that way I don't have to worry about my roll flopping around. Oops, and I didn't cut all the way through. There we go. So put the lid back on my knife. There we go. And then I also have a brayer that I like to use. Now this is a fairly new mat, so it's sticking really good, but I like to use that. And then I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to click on the flashing arrow, which loads the mat. And I'm also going to check my blade, make sure there's nothing on it. And now we can press the C, which is going to start the cut process. So as this cuts out, I will just let it do its thing, and I'll come back when I get to loading on the black. All right, our white is finished, so I'm going to remove the mat, and I always turn my mat over and pull my mat away from the vinyl, the HTV. So now I'm going to put my black on, and I'm going to do the same process. This one, I need 9.5. So it's actually 9, but I give myself about 1/2 inch just to make sure. So I'm going to cut this and use my brayer. Make sure it's laying down nice. Oops, there we go. And we'll cut this one out. All right, we have this one done. So while I was off camera, I did go ahead and weed the white one. Very easy to weed. And now I'm just going to do the same with this. Make sure you always use your little sheet. It keeps the lint and debris off of your sheet. And now I'm just going to go ahead and weed these. I need some scissors. I want to cut these apart because remember on here I have the feathers and the words. So I'm going to cut, whoops, I can't see. Cut the words off like that. And then I'm going to cut the feathers off. Oh, look at, and here's the birthday boy. Come here, come here, come here. Come on, up. Here. Ooh, come on, up. There we go. There's my boy. It's his birthday today. It's 5 today. Yes. Everybody say, happy birthday, Tux. Oh, that's it. He's done. He's over it already. All right. Let me get these weeded and we'll move on to the next step. Right. I have everything all weeded out and it looks wonderful. And of course I showed you the white. And so now I have my t-shirt and I've laid it on my mat. Now if you don't have a heat press and a mat, don't worry. You can absolutely use an ironing board. The thing is when that you need to remember is when you're dealing with HTV, you don't want to iron. You want to press. So press and hold, press and hold. Even if you have to move it multiple times, don't press real hard, especially with an iron, because you might get the iron, you know, that mark. You don't want that in here. But as you start laying these down, you can definitely use an iron. You don't have to have a heat press. So I'm just going to, first of all, make sure that I'm straight on this mat. So I'm just squaring up the mat with the edge of my desk. Okay. So I'm just going to fold it in half, line up the shoulder seams, line up the armpits, and make sure, oh, Tux wants out. Bye. See you later. There we go. All right, so let's just put a mark here. And I just take my iron, just give it a press. And that creates a center line for me. So now when I open this up, I have that center line and I can use it to help me place everything. So I think, now I'm gonna have to move this because my design is obviously bigger than what my mat is, but, so I'm gonna move that down just a little bit, I think. So I want it, so there, so I need to move it over. And then of course this will go on top of the white, but right now I'm just getting my placement. So let's get this laid out here. Now, I'm kind of, now if you want, you can actually take a ruler and measure from the edge and then from this edge, and to make sure that it's even, that you have the same amount of space. So I'm about 6.5 from the armpit. So if I go in here, I'm about 6.5 from the armpit. So that worked out very well. All right, I am going to start by putting the words down first. And I just want to make sure that they're straight. I have where I want it. I just need to make sure they're straight. There, I think. There we go. So now I'm going to move my mat so that this is on the mat, and I'm going to press down and for 10 seconds. And I'm just lightly pressing down with my hands to make sure that the heat is being distributed all over the place. Now, if you have a design that's bigger than this, then you're gonna have to do it in sections. So now I'm just gonna remove my mat because it's hot and my desk is cool. So I'm just going to turn this over. I'm just helping the vinyl to cool down because this is a cool peel. I'm saying vinyl, it's still vinyl, but it's heat transfer vinyl. When you go to buy your and use your HTV, you need to read the instructions to make sure, or to find out which kind of a peel this is. Mine is a cool peel, so once it's cool, then I can pull it off. And I'm still being very gentle. Oh, see, that one's not wanting to stay, so I'm gonna do it for another 10 seconds. go. So again, I'm going to cool it down. I'm just moving it around on my desk so that it pulls out the heat. My desk is metal, so it is kind of chilly. All right, so now you still want to pull very careful with this. You want to make sure that the vinyl is sticking down and that you're not having any issues. And so then what I like to do, oh, that R is not wanting to stick for some reason. So hold on, let me come at it a different way. Sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to change the direction that you're pulling on it. And then sometimes it'll stay down. Just like that. So I'm going to press this again, just to make sure. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to bring in this sheet here that I have, and I'm going to place that over top, making sure that everything is laying down, and give it another 10 seconds. Now you want to make sure that you're checking your HTV, like I was saying, not only for whether it's a hot or a cold peel, but for how long and what temperature. So I'm using 315 Fahrenheit for 10-second intervals. See, that looks so good. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just making sure it's down. I'm just going to move this over a bit. I want to put on my white part, but I don't want all of this plastic to be on where I've just laid the vinyl down. So I'm going to trim this up a bit. Get rid of some of this extra here so that it doesn't press into the HTV that's already laying down. Okay, so now I can just go like this, like that, and I think that looks good. So now, because this is HTV, I am going to put this over top because I do not want my heat press to hit that, or it will definitely melt it. And then it'll create a mess, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to set my timer and put some pressure on this and let it go the 10 seconds. Again, follow the manufacturer's instructions that you have. So let's just move that over here. Got something in my eye. And flip this over. Oops. Oh my goodness. This stuff is so sticky. Let's get this cooled down. Have you guys made shirts before? I think they're fun. I like making different types of shirts. I've got Halloween ones. I have a Christmas one. I like different shirts. They're fun to have. So I'm just going to test and see that's peeling up beautifully. So let's get this off of here. So just like that. And then like I did before, actually I'm not going to give this another press because I'm laying this over top. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim this up. Going to get this side off too, just because. Just trimming it up so that I have a better chance of lining everything up. All right, now we're just going to lay this down with HTV. I'll just let you know now that it sometimes stretches or moves just a little bit. And so when you go to lay something down on top of it, if it doesn't lay down 100%, it's okay, because this is a heat transfer vinyl. It's a vinyl and it's stretchy. It can absolutely stretch a bit when you're pressing it down. Do your best and it's going to look great. So I've got that down. I'm going to put this on here like so, put some pressure. All right. So let's take this off, cool it down. All right, so that's all cool. So now we're gonna gently start pulling this off. Now this is the one that has all the little pieces, so you wanna go slow, especially when you're doing have lots of small items, you want to go slow and watch everywhere that it's coming off and make sure that it's laying down the way it should. And then you will have a product at the end that you're very happy with. Perfect. So let's fold that over. I'm so happy with this. It's looking so good. I'm going to press this again, like so, with pressure, and I know you can't see me, sorry. So I'll just go like this, but yes, just put that extra pressure on there. I want to make sure it's stuck down, and now I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to go over on the other side to make sure it's stuck down. We only got 3 seconds left, and we're done. Alrighty. So one more time, I'm going to take and flip it over onto my desk and cool it down. Okay, and I'm going to turn it over and do it from this side. It looks so good. It really does. Look at you guys. Can you see that? See? Oh, that's going to look great. I love it. I hope you enjoyed this video today. It was a lot of fun to make this shirt, and like I said, I'll have it for years to come and be able to wear it on Truth and Reconciliation Day, which is on September 30th. And I will put a link down below to where you can go and read up all about that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and click on the bell to receive notification every time I upload a new video. Thank you again, and happy crafting.